Hello, I'm here. If anyone's here, go ahead and say hi. Hopefully, people will kind of check in or catch this on the replay. But I've been talking to Megan and Crystal, and with some of the team challenges that we have going on and stuff, I wanted to make sure that some of you guys knew some of the tricks of the trade, I guess to say, so that way we can get you off to the right start. And then also because a lot of the stuff that you do now will actually affect you in the future. So it's been a while since I've done a live, so it's kind of, you always get nervous, unless it's my own VIP group, and then I'm just totally spazzy. So I know with everything that's going on right now in the world that it's kind of hard to focus in on your business. A lot of us feel a little guilty. Sorry, I've got some gardeners here, and I don't know if you can hear that and if you can hear me. So let me know if you have trouble hearing me, or if I need to adjust anything. Just kind of waste a little bit of time right now just to see if anyone is here, and hopefully Megan and Crystal will be joining me, so that way if I have any questions they can help me out. So yeah, let me know if you can hear me, because I don't want to just be talking to a wall. That's kind of weird. Anyway, so I know if you're listening to this on replay or catching it later on, I know that this is a weird time for all of us. We've never been through anything like this before. Yay, hi Laura, thank you. I feel like I'm all alone, at least I have you. So anyway, my other business, obviously is shut down. So I am being a homeschool person with my kids, and I'm not made to be a stay-at-home mom. So this has been kind of rough for me. I know a lot of my downline and a lot of other people that I've talked to have a feeling of being uncomfortable when it comes to selling right now because of everything that's going on. A lot of people feel that a lot of people don't have the money that they want to spend, or just a little bit guilty, I guess. I have kind of taken this as an opportunity, not to push my business, but an opportunity to lay foundation, to work on myself internally, to become more spiritual, hopefully come out of this not gaining 10, 15 more pounds, but definitely working to get everything set up and squared away, so that way when we do get back into our norm, then I'm prepared both emotionally and also with my businesses. And when I started looking at this, there's a lot of things in our comp plan that if you don't have set up right from the beginning, then you're going to end up causing yourself some more problems later on. And we are still fairly new. We're 4 months into this. So if you're looking to rebuild your business, I know I will, be really straight, and I know a lot of my DL girls are in this group, and I don't have anyone that's active right now. Actively meaning that they're working their business, they're wanting to do their business. We've all lost a lot of people over the past couple of years, and it's, it is what it is. This is a different company, it's a different beast, and some, we're basically, little fish in a big pond. So, or I should say ocean, because it's truly what it is. But a lot of this stuff can be kind of scary when you're looking at these numbers, and you can take this and be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. One of the things before we, really dive into some numbers and stuff is where you want to take this. If you want to be very simple and keep a small business, which is kind of always the route I've gone, I love helping people. So my DL to me is more of empowering people than it was to actually bring in money. However, with the way this is set up, in order to make anything, you need to actually make sure you have things set up right. So let's see. Oh, we got more people. I see. So first thing that we need to start off with is basically where you want to be. You can use this business the way it's set up now, and you can make money off of retail customers. And if that's all you want to do, then that's fine. You're going to get paid the difference between retail and wholesale. And there's no additional commissions that come with that. It is just the difference between retail and wholesale. And that is just for your retail customers. Along with that, as a distributor, you do not get a commission off of your orders like we have in the past. In the past, you could order either retail or wholesale, and you would still be able to get, a 5 to 10, 15% commission depending on what level you were at. That is no longer the case. So if you are keeping it small and you want to get paid, or at least kind of take advantage of some of this, then there's certain things that we could do to kind of circumvent the system. When I talked to Crystal and Megan about doing this, I did a lot of research. The three of us have, talked numerous times on, how this works and, what happens and what's the cause, what's the effect, is it good to have this? Is it good to not have that? And then last night I stayed up for, I don't know how long, because time doesn't really matter right now, looking to see exactly what was in their policies and procedures when it comes to placement of your DL, when it comes to moving orders around, when it comes to how you get paid and when you get paid. And a lot of the tricks that we have been learning from calling customer service or from other reps is it's not in any writing anywhere. So it's kind of a little bit of a shady area on what you can do and can't do. But over the past couple months, I have been actually implementing a lot of these and have noticed a big difference in my paychecks without doing anything extra. So the first thing is, since you do not get paid commission on your own personal orders, is to create your PCs or your distributors or associates, whatever you want to call them, below you. And if we're going to talk keeping it small first, and then we'll talk kind of on the bigger level. But if you are looking to keep it small and you are your best customer, which I know a lot of us are, then your most important thing for you to do is to get your 50, what's it called? Your PQV, which I'm learning, all these terms are so different than what we're used to, and there's a difference between each one. So your personal volume, let's just call it that, is anytime you place an order or you have a retail customer that places an order. So you don't have to actually place any orders if you want this business to work. I was going through a lot of the stuff on the internet and stuff about Youngevity and their comp plan, and over and over it says you have to place an order in order to be able to be considered active, and that is not true. You can rely solely off of your own customers, retail customers, not preferred customers or your distributors. Okay, so just in order to get active, you need 50 personal volume. So whether it be from a retail customer or yourself. Now, with the retail customer, you get the difference between retail and wholesale. With your own, again, you get nothing. So you get to yourself to that minimum, or you can go the opposite way and work on the rest, and then at the end of the month decide, okay, what do I need my personal stuff to be at a level so that way I get to the next level. But that kind of, we'll kind of get into that a little bit more. I try to actually do, I start each month with where I want to be. And I don't know if you can see this. I first always shoot for being a senior associate, which, you know, every month I create this dry erase board. I will tell you my auto ships haven't hit yet. So right now, all my numbers are 0. For me to get a senior associate, I need 200 personal volume and I need 1,000 team volume. And there's a difference between what you actually look at for volume versus what you actually get. So this is one chart that you will find, and I'm gonna fold this so you don't see some of the other stuff. If you go into your back office and you go under volume, commissions, and then you hit volumes, you're gonna get a report like this, and it is gonna show you your personal and then your team. It's gonna show you your personal bonus, and it's gonna show you your team qualifying. Difference between personal bonus is the number is based off of wholesale. The qualifying volume is based off of numbers that they create when they do specials, or they give it kind of a different equation. So you can rack up your qualifying volume numbers super fast depending on what deals are going on. For instance, is it Relief, the hemp products? A lot of the hemp products have a lot of double or triple qualifying volume. So for instance, you purchase your Relief, which is great right now, Relax, and you get $56 in personal volume, your bonus volume, okay? That is based off the wholesale cost. And then you actually get 222 qualifying volume. So qualifying volume actually comes into play when you're looking at your team volume. So when you're looking at some of these different levels and you see, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm gonna get girls to bring in $5,400. Well, it's not that they need to bring in $5,400. They need to bring in 54 qualifying volume. And with some of these specials, that number can go up really quick. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these numbers, because not all of these numbers have to do with the fact that that is the amount of money you need to bring in. It is qualifying volume. So again, just like, you know, there's sales. If you go, the best way I actually found to see what actual qualifying volume is per item is I go into my Autoship and they list every single thing. I don't know if you guys have gone down here. Hi, Megan. If you know, I was so excited. I got to do my hair, my makeup, and feel like a person again. So yeah. Okay, so if you go into your auto ship, you can actually see everything all the way down. And it shows you every product that they have throughout the entire site. And it actually breaks down what you would get for your bonus volume, which again is just the items that, bonus volume is what you would get for your like wholesale, wholesale numbers. And then it shows you what you get for your qualifying numbers. So there's a difference between the two. And at first, I'll admit, I was getting them all mixed up and I was like, well, I hit my goal. And I'm like, no, I didn't, because I didn't have this part. So it's important to realize the difference between what you're getting as a bonus value, which is your basic, you know, from your retail customers, and what you're getting as a qualifying. So don't let those big numbers that, you know, you see senior associate and they need 1,000 team qualifying. Well, if you had a couple girls or guys place an order for the Hemp FX Relax, that's 222 qualifying volumes per order, and that's only $56 that they spent, it depending on if they're a PC or a distributor. So let's back it up just a little bit before we get into like senior associate and everything else. We're keeping it simple. You want to only focus on your retail, or you're just doing this because you want great products at a wholesale price, but wouldn't it be nice to make a little bit of commission on it? So what I've done, and I did see somewhere in the rules that you're not kind of supposed to, but I know a lot of people are telling us to do this and it works, is my husband is a preferred customer. My daughter is a preferred customer. And so what I do, if I'm just looking at, I don't really have much going on in my group and I don't have certain things that is really enticing everybody, then I place my order, my Autoship order, and I get my 50 PV, okay? If I want to place another order, I place it underneath my husband or my daughter. And that is the only way that you're going to get any money off of your own orders. So I literally have my husband's account, I pull it up and I place my order, and now I get a percentage on that. And if you're just at an associate level, that's 5%. So not only am I now just paying wholesale, but I'm getting 5% on top of that. Where if I placed it under myself, I don't get that. So that's important to, it's so weird having everyone home with me right now. So as you move up, that's where it's going to be important for placement. Up until, let's see, I believe it's 1-star executive. Up until there, you can use your PCs, your preferred customers, as distributors, and they count towards your total qualifying volume. So go back to this every month. This is what I create, and then I use a different color for when I hit certain goals. So I always try to get to be a senior associate. So I need 3 people at 100, and that is 100. They need their that's their PV. Okay, so just like I was talking about, I need 200 PV to get there. So that's $200 in actual, either I place an order and it's based off of your wholesale price, or I have a retail customer that places a retail order and I get those points off of the wholesale price. Okay, so each one of my people underneath me. Now, this can be my husband, this can be my daughter, this can be a distributor, it could be another PC, whatever way you want to work. They can be PCs or distributors. If you are ever looking to take this to the next level and become a star executive or a CEO or whatever they call them from up there, then these 3 need to be distributors. So keep that in mind because you have a very limited time to place your people. So right now, let me just kind of show you. I crossed off everybody's names, but this is my downline, okay? And when we started in January with Youngevity, it was, my downline was straight across, okay? I had nobody filling down and creating, bring me back a couple years and it was completely different. It was a complete full team. But when we moved into this, I was very, very lateral, okay? And that doesn't work in this at all. It does as a backup, and I'll kind of get into that. But hi, Crystal. But right now, everything I was completely across the board. So I wasn't going to get paid on people going further down because I had nobody there. So this is where you really need to know who you have because, and it's hard because once someone becomes a PC or once someone becomes a distributor, you have 60 days to kind of evaluate what they're going to do to either help your group, or if they are just there to shop or get the discounts. And this is the part I kind of get frustrated about, because you can only change them once. And once you change them, they're there. So a couple months ago, I knew we were coming up. I think this was like February. So I started moving some of my people around. And of course, I crossed off their names so no one knows, that I sent somebody below somebody else. But so my DL, I started moving, okay, well, this girl really hasn't been that active. Let me move her down. Let me move this person down. And I started creating my downline, I guess. And what I ended up doing was, and I kind of regret this, so I don't want you to make the same mistake, but I didn't know how really to kind of avoid this. But I put my daughter and my husband right underneath me, and then I put people underneath them, because I knew I can control my daughter's account, my account, and my husband's account. And then I did have, there's a couple people that I know will place big orders every now and then, so I put them. But you don't want to create it where you have only 3 people under you and everybody else filters underneath, because here's the other kicker. You need to have 3 people hit that certain level each month. And I don't know about you, but it has been very hard to see consistency going on with any of us and our teams. We've been through so much, we don't have a flow anymore. So we don't have our VIPs. We're rebuilding. So I'm still keeping 5, 6 people across my top, because I'm hoping that the average, I'll hit 3 people that will actually end up being active that month. And then once I get that first round done, then I'll start focusing on going below. Again, if you are looking to become a star executive, then they need to be 3 distributors. They cannot be preferred customers. And that is one thing that I still can't find anywhere, is how that works if you have a PC and then a distributor under a PC, and where does that count? But the more and more you kind of get into this, sometimes you get a little bit frustrated, and it gets a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And that's when I just need to take a step back and let it go. So if you are just looking, then I highly suggest that you get one of your VIPs to become a preferred customer, get your husband, get your kids, get, whatever, and place them underneath you. So that way, if you do decide to place an order, you can place it under them and still get that extra money. Okay, so say you have one distributor that is actually, working their business, and they get to their $100 or $50, and you have another one that's really close. They do an Autoship program, but they still only get the wraps, so they're at $25. And then you have, another person underneath you that you may have put there, or maybe somebody else, and they have nothing. At the end of the month, they do suggest you kind of do this throughout the month, but I kind of like to take everything and see what I got and then move things around. At the end of the month, you can take your personal wholesale orders, and you can move them. You can move them down to, say I have a Jane, and I don't have a Jane in my downline, but Jane is underneath me, and she does style box for $25. And I have everything else I need, but I don't have that. I can take one of my wholesale orders and I can move it down. It can't be a retail order, and it need to make sure that it doesn't affect your goal in staying here. So it's kind of like an extra, you just kind of move it down. I'm not sure, obviously Jane wouldn't get anything from it because it's a wholesale order under her, which you don't get paid commission on. So you are able to manipulate that. It cannot be, you can't move retail orders, and obviously you can't move other people's orders. But the customer service is really great at saying, okay, where do you want to be and how can we get you there? The kicker is they have to be, like I said, they have to be your own wholesale orders. So if you have great VIPs and they're the ones that are getting you to your personal volume, then use that. And then at the end of the month, if you're like, oh, do you know what, I need this, then you place your wholesale order and then you can move it down. But then you're not getting paid on it. So this really is depending on where you want to be. Do you want to build this and play the game, or do you want to just have fun and make money off of retail and then just use your husband or whoever to get a little bit of extra money? Because it really can be mind-blowing the more and more you get into it. Another thing to keep in mind, and I feel, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this one, but is when I do move an order down, it will affect my upline. So Megan, Crystal, that affects what is going on under their scenario. So be aware of that, because at the end of the month, if you've got people under you and they're moving orders around, you need to make sure that communication is there, because you don't want to feel like, okay, I made this level, and then come the next morning, when it's the first, and you're like, what happened? How come I didn't make it? And someone moved something. I think that is one of their faults in this plan, but I don't know how they would work around that. So, okay. So, with that, I think the biggest thing that I really think people need to really understand is the difference between the bonus volume or your personal volume versus your qualifying volume, because that's really the game changer. And if you are able to use some of that. So for instance, I know that there was a month a while back that I loved the Soothe. And they, I was hyping it up all over to all of my PCs, and I got a couple of them to place orders, and I waited and waited. And at the last minute, I placed an order under my husband. I got 400 qualifying volume, which put me above the 1,000 mark that I needed. And I paid, $60. So it depends, like I said, if you want to work it or not. Let's see, what else is there? Girls, what am I missing? Come on, Crystal, Megan, give me something. What am I missing? Because I'm just hitting a wall right now. I think I've kind of touched on most of it. Yeah, I don't know what else. I know I've kind of given you a lot of information that I hope it doesn't scare you, because it can get really complicated and really frustrating. So I don't want to overwhelm you and get, because if you really start looking up the up your comp plan, then it is very overwhelming. I just, like I suggest, if you're looking to go further and become an executive, just make sure that your downline are placed where you have your distributors directly right under you. Otherwise, if you're just looking, then make sure you use those PCs to actually place your orders under. It doesn't matter. I've even placed orders or had them move orders underneath my mother-in-law, or, and she's an active preferred customer, but I needed her to be a little bit higher, so you know, had the move in order there. The other thing that I would like to mention to you guys is, I don't know how much you've gotten into this yet, but if you are doing the challenge or anything else right now, if you have a client, or I'm sorry, a customer from the Jamberry Day, the Benny U Day, best way that you can actually get them over is to have them re-register and to become a PC, especially right now because it's free. And that counts as a brand new PC for you. So if you're doing the challenge, or you are looking at some of these different qualifying things for different promotions, when you move them over and they sign up as a new one, even though in the past they've had an account, they are still considered new. So you get, you know, the extra bonuses on those. I have tried to go through customer service to get people upgraded, and they won't do that. It's very messy. So I highly suggest, if you're changing someone into a PC, just have them re-register. It's so much easier. And then that way you can also kind of use them in order to get to those levels that you want to be. Unless there's any questions, I can't really think of anything else. I feel like I didn't say anything, but hopefully you get something out of this, and that way we can help you grow and get motivated. But like I said, use this time. We have a lot of time right now. Use this to reflect. You don't need to be out there pushing your sales. You don't need to be out there doing that stuff. But look at some of these things, so that way you can get your people in line to where you want them to be, so that way you can create something more tangible, or more so you can make more money when we are back in full swing. So definitely take a look at that. If you guys have any questions, message me, or message Megan or Crystal. We're all here to help. It's, you know, this is probably the only thing that has kept me going, is this family right here. So I will do anything to help any of you guys. So just send a message. Even, I don't care how, you know, juvenile or insignificant you may think it is, it could definitely make a difference in your business. So use this time to organize your business, get set, and you know, share love in your VIP groups, and let's get through this together. Okay, so unless anyone has any questions, I will say goodbye, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.